Are you afraid of your parents? Or are you in denial of your parents? Or simply can't stand your parents? This video is as much for adults as it is for teenagers. But if that's your case, this video is for you. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to my channel. My name is Joana Leão. I'm a Karmic astrology. And my mission is to help people know themselves best, hopefully leading them to a more enlightened existence, aligned with their soul's mission. So today's video is about parents. Parents are the equivalent of sun and moon in the birth chart. That's the point of what they used to call the alchemic or alchemical marriage in ancient astrology. It's when the spirit, your sun, marries your moon, your soul. And this marriage is provided by our parents. Our parents are not necessarily our bloodline parents. Sometimes for somebody who is adopted by a grandmother, a sister, an aunt, and the opposite genre, of course, like by a grandfather, an uncle, a cousin sometimes. So that's the equivalent of mother and father. That's the equivalent of the masculine and feminine energies in your life. Your parents come into your life to actually bring awareness upon what you are and what you're here to do. Your parents are, on one side, the spirit or the personality, and the other side, the soul, the memory and the wisdom that you bring to actually help your soul's mission come to fruition in this lifetime, or your soul's bit, because one lifetime is really just a delta in all the lifetimes that you have. It's funny that the dog looks at me for approval, and because I whistled, he started barking at the cycling guys. And it's so funny. We as children do that as well. We look at our parents for approval, because parents for us are our first gods. It's our first concept of my father and my mother are gods. They can do anything. My mother is incredible because of this. My father is incredible because of this. And as we grow up, their energy of building us into becoming what we're meant to become in this lifetime becomes ever more constrict and rigid somehow, and more demanding, so to say. And in that, we end up not liking our parents very much, because sometimes it feels like they're not doing a very good job, or that they're not doing that job at all, and promoting ourselves in the way that we are supposed to be. So, and this brings you to the look upon everything that has happened in your childhood with your mom or your dad, or the figure that represents them individually. And the truth is, your father represents your personality. Your mother represents your mission, your memory, your soul, the intuition that you're here for something greater, that you're here to do something that's aligned with something greater than just yourself, and that your personality is the key to open that mission and to open that path for you. And so, in doing so, whatever dynamic you have with your father, that's the dynamic you have with your personality. That's the dynamic you have with your self-power, self-will, the things you want, the things you like, the things you don't like, the things you clearly don't want, what repels you on about life, the gifts you have, the blocks you have. So all the things that are contained within your personality are representative and are represented by the connection you have with your father. Your mother, on the other hand, represents the invisible side of you, the side that knows that a path is better than the other, or that a certain person will help you along the way. It's that intuitive, that subtle feeling of, I feel that this is the way. My gut's telling me to go this way. I feel that my heart's desire is pulling me in this direction. On another very interesting perspective, so the father represents your personality, your mother represents the mission, and your perspective upon their relationship, the connection that they have, the dynamic in between your parents is the dynamic in between who you are and what you are here to do, who you are and what you're here to achieve, what you bring to the world and how you're bringing that into fruition. That dynamic is the inner dynamic that you have in yourself of how things will come to fruition as you go on about your life. So let's say that your parents are very friendly towards one another. They're best friends, they're best mates, they laugh all the time. Like they have a very positive, expansive, masculine because it's positive, right? But very outward dynamic. That's the dynamic you have in between what you are and what you're capable to do. So you will have that sort of energy throughout your life in going on about the things that you want. Now, let's say that this same couple, these same parents, don't have that dynamic when it comes to money. They never talk about money, they never talk about values, possessions, investments, savings, how much stuff costs. It's like, do you know, some children have this dynamic with their parents, right? When they say, oh, can I get this? And their parents just go very quiet and don't say anything. So money becomes a taboo. Money is a correspondence in Taurus, has a correspondence in Taurus. So it's your self-worth, it's your self-value. As I speak in my Taurus video, if you would like to check better self-worth stuff, just check this video right here. The link will be insert frame here. And that, the inner dynamic that you have within yourself and the perception that you have of self-worth, of money making, of providing value, of being of value, is defined by this dynamic between your parents. Your personality and the things you come to pursue will be very much okay on going on about new experiences and trying new things. But when it comes to money, it's going to be like, shit, I really don't want to talk about this subject. I really want to talk about these things because that's what you saw your parents do. It became like a ghost subject. Every time you would ask about it, it would disappear in thin air. So your parents' dynamics simply symbolize this inner dichotomy that we have within. We're not supposed to do the same. It's just an outer movie to help us understand what's inside of our micro universe. They just represent the macro. It's just like a picture and a film and a story of our lives reflected in two people. They're not going to be aware of that most of the times. But that's exactly what they're here to represent. Does that mean that you have to become them? Of course not. Does that mean that you are your parents? Not at all. But when you are afraid of going for a job interview, or you believe you won't get into the university that you want, or you believe you don't deserve the girl of your dreams or the guy of your dreams or whatever, all those things are just a representation of this dynamic that is happening in between your spirit and your soul, your sun and your moon, or, in my opinion, in your sun and your Pluto, because to me, Pluto is what truly represents the soul, even though ancient astrology and alchemy speak about the moon as being the soul. I think it has way more depth to look at Pluto when it comes to soul. It's way deeper. It's more unconscious. Like the moon is just emotion. It's not really unconscious, really. It's just very blunt and very clear and very shiftable, if that's even a word. But that's it. That's what I would like you to take from this. So parent dynamic and even their personality, whether you like it or not, the pros and the cons are the pros and the cons of your personality on your dad's side, and your mother's is the pros and cons of your path of existence, your soul, your soul's path of existence. And it's just there to kind of give you a heads up. It's a treasure map. It's not something that's wrong or just necessarily here to make you feel good or bad. Not really. It's just to point the way. See it as a little light at the end of the tunnel, something like that. And let me know in the comments if you agree with this. I really do hope you enjoyed this video. This one was a hard one for me to put out. I kickstarted and stopped and started many times, but eventually I think it's a very important message. Our parents are constantly interpreting this theater of what our life is. Your parents are just representing your inner dynamic in an outward manner. That's why it's so conflicting to see sometimes, because it's unconscious. And anything that in us is unconscious makes us very unstable and makes us not feel secure, because what's conscious is fear, brings us to like the dark spectrum of our emotions. The shame, the guilt, the fear, all those things. You're going to stay here because you're going to scream at people. I hope to see you. Hope you liked this video. Elo hopes you liked it too. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye. Bye. This ended up so well. You're not gonna scream with people, are you? I'm gonna be a good boy.